Just going to wait for a couple minutes, let some people join in, and then we'll get started. Dr. Indy, thanks for joining, man. Just waiting for a couple more minutes, see if we can get some more people in here. Then I got some content to go over. Hopefully, everything is fixed and we can actually share video and audio without any silly interruptions. Also, please don't be shy. Say what's up in the chat. Just say hi, ask a question, whatever you want. Questions do not have to specifically be politically rated or about politics, I should say. Hey, Dan, good to see you. Yeah, good to see you, Mr. Andrew. How are you doing? Hope all is well with you and everybody else who joins. Hey, Michelle, how's it going? Did you guys see question period today? I know not everybody watches it, but I got some clips. Pierre-Poilievre and markcarney went at it again today. Just gonna wait a little bit longer, see if we can get some more people. Actually, before we do that, I'm gonna play a video here. Let me know if you can hear it.
EDAs, or electoral district associations, are set up for volunteers and people who want to get politically involved. The Peterborough EDA has incredible members. They volunteer their time and they volunteer policy proposals. So at the Conservative Convention...
Can you guys hear that? We need to lose Doug Ford. Yeah. You know what's funny about Doug Ford too is he wants Pierre-Poilievre's job. And nice to see you, Jeanette. Thank you. The audio is working? Okay, perfect. Great to see you too, Mint. Thank you. Yes, you guys can hear? Okay, thank God. So I was trying to figure out how to stream with OBS, but they're saying there's some sort of an issue with it, but I'm going to see if I can fix that later on tonight. Okay, hopefully it stays that way and you guys can hear. I'm just going to start this from the beginning and then we'll watch what Michelle Ferreri has to say here.
Your voice does matter and it does have impact. So local EDAs, or electoral district associations, are set up for volunteers and people who want to get politically involved. The Peterborough EDA has incredible members. They volunteer their time and they volunteer policy proposals. So at the Conservative Convention, Peterborough had 2 policies make it through all of the hoops to get it to convention floor. It's a really big deal. You have to create policy that all the EDAs across the country agree with. Then it has to pass the first round. Then if it passes through that, it makes it to convention floor. We had 2. Our volunteers created 2 policies that made it to convention floor and one that actually made it all the way through. But this one that I want to show you right now was created by Caroline Goodenough. She's incredible. She had lots of support from other people as well. But take a look at this policy and then think about what today's Conservative Opposition Day motion was. Caroline, you're a smarty pants. This one scored number 13, and it really is a good one. Take a look.
Next submission, 994, Compassionate and Secure Asylum Processing Policy. Can I have the proposer to the mic for 1 minute, please?
My name is Caroline. I'm from Peterborough Riding, and I'm an immigrant from Central Africa. So this policy will house asylum claimants in secure reception facilities during full processing, completing all security screenings, identify verification, criminal checks, and full immigration medical exams before release into our communities. For genuine refugees, it provides a safe, controlled environment with accommodation, medical care, and legal support. For public safety, it identifies and removes fake claimants within a 30-day timeline. It's cost-effective to repurpose vacant taxpayer-owned sites like closed military bases, which already have barracks and infrastructure. Minor reactivation is much less expensive than hotels costing hundreds per night and reduces unnecessary health programs for those who are not eligible. Economically, it creates hundreds of good-paying Canadian jobs in healthcare, security, and much more, prioritizing Canadians and legitimate refugees. This practical solution saves money, strengthens our borders, and treats claimants with compassion
10 seconds, please.
while putting Canada first. Vote yes.
Thank you. And I have 30 seconds for someone in favor.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Ferrari, the former Member of Parliament for Peterborough. Very proud of my Peterborough folks here. This is a great policy. You know what we need? We need to close loopholes. Criminals are using our current system to get out of being deported. That's the reality of this. What Caroline has come up with and what this policy is to ensure that there is compassionate intervention, to ensure that they are fully checked, that if they are a criminal, if they are not here fraudulently, if they are a genuine asylum claimant, that we take the right precautions within 30 days so that we can either keep them or deport them. This is a common sense bill. Please vote yes.
Thank you, Michelle.
So I saw a couple comments about Michelle Ferrari, how you guys love her and how she should be the MP. I agree. 100% agree. I don't know if you guys heard her story about during the last election, how people were coming up to her, people who have donated to her, people who have volunteered with her during the campaign said that they were voting for Mark Carney specifically because of Trump. It's the only reason she's not still in Parliament. She was a great MP. I don't know what the hell Canadians were thinking, man. Benjamin Phillip, you voted. See, you're in the Peterborough riding, and you're part of the people that are smart. But a lot of people decided, nope, Trump elbows up, and a lot of those people still support Carney, even though the elbows are still firmly tucked into his side. Please also do not forget to hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. It does help the YouTube algorithm push this out to other people. Also, drop a comment. It doesn't have to be a political question, be a question about anything, really. Or if you just want to say hi. Trump is the boogeyman. Yep. And the more Trump becomes hostile to Canada, the better Mark Carney's doing. Although the Supreme Court did just rule down that Trump's tariffs are illegal. Now, I don't know exactly if Trump can do anything about that or not, but if the tariffs start to go away, then Carney's got no boogeyman. What's he going to do then? I'm sure he'll make something else up, but will it be believable? Will it actually scare people? Who knows? Hello from London, Ontario. Hey, Shirley. Nice to see you. For those of you who don't know, I am located in Ontario in a city called Hamilton. I'm sure most of you, if not all, have heard of that city before. You guys know who Candace Malcolm is? So she had a debate with some journalist or so-called journalist named Justin Ling about the Freedom Convoy, as this guy was trying to attack the Freedom Convoy and saying that they were a bunch of Nazis, of course, because as you know, there were a bunch of people way in the back who wouldn't show their face wearing masks at a anti-mandate protest. And for some reason, people were attaching those Nazis to the Freedom Convoy movement because they're stupid.
Put forward by you and other people like you that it was some plan that the government put in there, which is ludicrous.
I let you speak. Now it's my turn to speak, Justin. I let you speak.
Go ahead.
Okay. So again, go to any protest in Canada and you will see this kind of rhetoric. I don't like it. I don't think it's good when they're calling Danielle Smith treasonous, which, by the way, BC Premier David Eby recently implied that and actually used the word treasonous. So it's not just one way here, right? You see this stuff about Donald Trump. You see, dangerous, hateful rhetoric against that guy. I don't hear you guys complaining about it or saying that it's somehow a threat to our system, right? You go to any of these Islamist protests and you will see people with Nazi flags, and they're actually talking about it in the actual context of the Nazis, like, hey, let's burn the Jews, let's kill the Jews. That's literally what they're saying. It's gross, but you see these kind of fringe lunatics, maniacs at the convoy, at any protest in the country, right? So the people that drew the swastikas on the flag, and you brought up the Michael Cooper example, perfect example of fake news. An MP shows up on the Hill to meet with his constituents, to meet with concerned Canadians. Someone in the far background has written something on a Canadian flag, and that becomes a top story in the country. So much so we're still talking about it 4 years later that CBC pushed out totally fake news that somehow Michael Cooper was a Nazi because he was at a protest.
No one said that.
And someone in the background.
Oops. You see, the problem with these guys like Justin Ling is that they just blatantly make things up And when you call them out for it, you look at his face. Now, I don't think he saw that. I think that was just on Juno News podcast, but they blatantly make things up, and then when you call them out, they're like, "Oh my God, guys," and then they call you the Nazis, or you're part of the Nazi group somehow.
Behind him, they were supposed to go because they were saying that the Trudeau government is acting like Nazis with these government overreach policies. Okay, I don't agree with that line of reasoning, but we should at least be honest about what they're saying, right? They're not saying gas the Jews. Actually, that's what some of the Islamists are saying. What these protesters were saying is we feel like the government is stepping on us and crushing us, and we don't like it. And that makes us think that your government is like Nazi Germany. Again, not my view, but let's at least be honest about what the people were saying and not put words into their mouth and pretend that they're actually extreme. Again, I say go to any protest in this country and you'll find crazy people. You'll find crazy people. Go anywhere in the country and you'll find people with views that you will find shocking, right? And this is, again, why I call you, Justin Ling, an elite. And guess what? Anyone in Canada can play this game. Oh, I come from working class, blue collar origins. We all do. Okay, we all do. It's a country of resource extraction. So we all come from those backgrounds. But I call you an elite because you sit there from your laptop and you judge and you look down on these people and you say, oh, look at these extreme views. I'm going to apply them to everybody. And then, no, we shouldn't talk to them. We shouldn't talk to them. You know, there's hundreds of thousands, millions of Canadians that were represented by those truckers. I wanted them to talk to my leaders. That's the purpose of a democracy. I wanted my leaders.
Okay, let me give Justin a chance to respond.
And they refused to. For all I know.
Yeah, I mean, you see these guys and how they behave, and but the thing is, the reason that they get away with it, it's the same reason why liberals keep getting away with it, because people keep paying attention, or they keep voting, they keep giving the views, and they think that the conservative party is the evil, lying party, and they think the liberals are the party of good, and it's complete nonsense. I will let people continue to believe this nonsense, but they do. I'm completely fed up with the immigration situation. Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Or sorry, Shirley. Again, don't forget to hit the like button. You got to trigger the YouTube algorithm, which will push it out to more people, and hopefully we can get some more people in here. And if there are any audio issues, please let me know in the chat. It's been very iffy. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm trying to figure out a better way to stream. I was going to stream with OBS, which is like a new software, but it kept giving me this stupid error. And I don't know if that's a YouTube issue, an OBS issue, or if I'm just too stupid to figure out. Can't figure that out yet either. So either way, we'll see. Please don't be shy either. Let me know what you're thinking in the comment section. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask away. Or if you just want to say hi, please feel free. Did any of you guys watch Question Period today? It's not my first live, but YouTube has been giving me some issues. I know last Tuesday there was a complete crash at 8 o'clock, and then other days I was trying to figure it out, and then I had a stream Saturday, I think, and then the audio wouldn't play on the video, so I don't know. They're having a bunch of problems. I am new to streaming, but I've had a few other streams. I'm planning to do it every day at 8 o'clock, except Sundays. But it's been kind of difficult to do that right now with the way YouTube's been behaving. But I will be live more consistently. I am trying to kind of grow my channel, put out more content for you guys. I'll also have a couple videos out later tonight after the stream. Probably going to go till around 9 o'clock, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what we can do with this thing here. So here's a video from Pierre-Poilievre and markcarney going at it. I'm sure you guys will like this.
We have the immigration system under control, and we're supplying the health care Canadians.
Here, here. The honorable leader of the opposition
has the system under control. Obviously, he's just another liberal. He thinks it's under control when the cost of deluxe supplementary benefits is up by 1,000%, and the number of refugee claims is up by 3,000%. Meanwhile, under his leadership, and after 11 years of Liberal government, we have 6 million Canadians who cannot find a family doctor. Will he take his head out of the stand, vote for our motion, and give Canadians back the health care they deserve?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Hey, Luke, good evening. Not too much. We just started about 15 minutes ago. I was just playing a video from Michelle Ferreri's account. Just talking about the growth and the future of this channel, what I'm going to be doing with it, et cetera, et cetera. Where said not liberal fallout? Yeah. Carney literally was in the House of Commons today saying, I just got here, guys. First of all, dummy, you've been here for a year. Second of all, you were Trudeau's economic advisor for 5 years. See, he's running on this campaign, I guess you can call it, because we probably are headed to an election soon. It's not my fault, guys. I just got here. No, you didn't just get here. And then when Mark Carney said that, Pierre was like, oh, I guess you're just another temporary foreign worker, which is exactly what Mark Carney is. Go look at his WEF speech, where he literally said, I'm more European than anything else. And that's Canada strong, apparently. Conservatives sent me a petition to sign about this topic. Yeah, I got an email too. I think a lot of people did.
Mr. Speaker, 11 years? I just got here. The member opposite has been here his whole...
I just want to remind. I just want to remind the member for Selkirk, Interlake, Eastman that there is only one person who should be standing at a time in the House. But anyway, the Right Honourable Prime Minister will need to start from the top.
Start from the top. That's what these clowns think, that hooting and hollering. That's what gives them a loud cheer. Like, it's so stupid.
Mr. Speaker, I just got here. The Leader of the Opposition has been here his entire career, with one exception. Now, during the time that Canada's new government has been here, we have reduced asylum seekers by 1/3. We have reduced temporary foreign workers by 50%. We have reduced new students by 60%. And we are putting in place in front of this House in C12 and C2 an ability to end the abuse of the asylum system. We look for their support.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister may pretend he just got here like he's a temporary foreign worker or something. But in reality, it's the same Liberal House Leader, the same Liberal Finance Minister, the same Liberal Justice Minister who was the Immigration Minister that broke the entire system that are running it into the ground today. And it's not just healthcare where there's two-tiered, Mr. Speaker. This Prime Minister keeps in place laws that allow foreign criminals who are visiting Canada to have less time in jail after they commit crimes. Will he get rid of the two-tiered system so that we can lock up serious criminals and then kick them out of our country when they're done their time?
Honestly, I think that we should just skip putting them in jail and just deport them. If they've been convicted, get out of here. They do that in countries like Dubai, right? Or actually, I think sometimes it depends on the crime, I guess. But a lot of people, that's why Dubai is so safe, because they actually have very harsh laws, and if you break the law and you're not from there, you're gone.
Mr. Speaker, I would encourage, in the spirit of the member's opposite question, support for C2 and C12, which will help to address some of these issues. That's the first point. The second point, Mr. Speaker, when serve the time in this country.
Here.
Then why haven't they, Mark? How come they're still not sucking our bill? Then get the support from the NDP or the Bloc. Like, you can't expect the Conservatives to believe you and support what you're doing when you failed for 11 years straight. Yes, that includes you, Mark Carney, because you were Justin Trudeau's economic advisor for 5 years. Carney is Trudeau's advisor. Right, that's right. He is no outsider at all. I like how Pierre called Carney a temporary foreign worker. Yeah, Mr. Andrew. He's always very quick and witty with his comebacks. I enjoy that. Carney is so arrogant. Absolutely, Jeanette. I agree with you, says Luke. Yeah, and again, please don't forget to hit that like button. See if we can trigger the YouTube algorithm. We only have 26 people in here right now, but hopefully we can get that up. We got up to 100 digits, 100 people. So 3 digits, which is not too common for this channel. But I think the more consistently we stream, the more we'll see growth in the channel. Oh, sorry, I just froze up there for a second. So this guy here, Clyde, posted this. I don't know if you guys follow Clyde. You should go give him a follow if you don't see his YouTube channel. It's got very good content, and he's a pretty good dude. So he said, this guy destroys the not all argument.
Here's a fast way to test someone's ability to think abstractly. Make a generalized statement about a group, something factual and based on stats, such as Asian men are shorter on average. Now, what's the response? If they say anything like, not all Asian men are short, or I know a tall Asian guy, you're not dealing with disagreement, you're dealing with reasoning failure, okay? The statement was about averages and not individuals, distributions, not anecdotes, okay? And psychology calls this concrete thinking. When someone cannot separate population level trends from individual exceptions, they default to personal stories. And this is not insight, it is a lack of abstract reasoning, okay? And pointing out an exception does not invalidate a trend. It just proves you do not understand how statistics work. This is called ignoring base rates. It's a well-documented cognitive error, okay? And here's the important part. Once someone collapses a statistical idea into an emotional or anecdotal rebuttal, explaining it doesn't help, okay? They are operating on a different level of thought. You're referring to patterns. They're talking about people they know, okay? This is different conversations, right? And this is not about being rude or offensive. It's about whether someone can think beyond the literal and understand aggregates, okay? Averages describe tendencies and not guarantees. Exceptions do not disprove the rules.
Right.
And the moment someone can't grasp that, you've learned that that is exactly how far the conversations will go.
He's right. There is really no point explaining to people who don't understand that. And I know so many people. Well, they're not all immigrants are criminals. I know that, and I never said it. But people go, well, I know a person. They will use anecdotal evidence instead of looking at actual studies. Is YouTube your full-time job? It's currently not. I am unemployed, however, so I'm looking for another job, but I want it to be. So that's why I'm going to be streaming more, putting out more content, and hopefully we can get there. But I can only do that with the help of you guys, and I do appreciate all of you who are here. Okay. Again, don't be shy. If you got any questions, it doesn't have to be politically related. It can be about anything. Doesn't have to be about politics. I personally really enjoyed the outcome of the gold medal game on Sunday. I know it's, well, you're Canadian. Why didn't you cheer? We deserve that loss. After how we behaved, not all of us, see, but generally how people behaved, especially, people who are liberal booing the national anthem, making the victory of Canada about Trump. Now they're giving it back to us, and we deserve it. So maybe we'll learn. But then again, we're Canadian. We don't seem to learn too quickly. Hey, LZ, nice to see you. Tuning in from Grand Prairie, Alberta. Yep. I've never been to that part of Alberta, but it's been a long time since I've been to Alberta, probably 30 plus years. I was there when I was a little kid visiting family. But it's been a while, too long. We need an Ontario Prosperity Project. Yeah, I agree. We need there's a lot of people who come here, right? they want to assimilate, they want to do things the right way, and they come here and they try to get work, and it's like, man, it's hard to get work. And then they look at rent prices and it's like, how am I supposed to afford this? And a lot of them go back home. There's this one girl I was talking to. We weren't dating, like we were just kind of like talking a couple of years ago, and she was actually from Nigeria, and she said, I'm here to get my education and then I'm going home. So I was like, well, I guess there's no point of dating you then. But she was very adamant about her plan. I'm coming here for the education, I'm going to use that, and then I'm going to take it back to my country and apply her her business degree or whatever back home. Seems like a lot of people are doing that these days. By the way, I'm not sure if you guys know who Sandra Kobina, but she is she's very calm and collected and very based. Like, she doesn't yell or scream, but she like quietly rips a new one into these people. So got this here from the real Mr. Bench. This is why conservative Sandra Kobina is becoming a powerhouse within the party and for Canada. She got limits on the powers of a king clause.
This provision grants individual cabinet ministers the extraordinary power to exempt handpicked individuals or entities from any federal law with the exception of the criminal code. This is an immense concentration of power, and what is clear is that this concern has been widespread and consistent, and I judge that by the number of petitions, emails, and letters, calls, and messages that I have received. The amendments that I am moving today seek to strike a balance between innovation, accountability, and democratic safeguards. It preserves the ability to create regulatory sandboxes that will support innovation in the clean tech sector and fintech sector. Specifically, the amendments introduce 7 key protections. First, mandatory 30-day consultation prior to making the exemption. Second, equal rules that apply to all participants within the sector, not only the handpicked companies. Third, dual approval by both a cabinet minister and the president of the Treasury Board. Fourth, mandatory public consultation of voters within 30 days. Fifth, a full report to Parliament within 90 days explaining the rationale and assessing whether permanent legislative changes are warranted. Sixth, a requirement that ministers appear before committee when requested to explain the sandbox. And seventh, clear limits on what can never be exempted, including foundational statutes such as the Conflict of Interest Act, Access to Information Act, the Auditor General Act, and other core accountability, safety, and national interest laws. While I would have preferred that this provision be removed from the Budget Implementation Act entirely, given the importance of this provision, I believe that these amendments present a balanced and responsible path forward. It meets the urgency of this moment while preserving the accountability, transparency, and democratic standards Canadians expect. And I trust that my colleagues here today can see that these amendments are being presented in good faith, that they are thoughtful, they're substantive changes that strengthen this bill. And they offer us an opportunity to show Canadians, the Canadians that we serve, that we can work together responsibly and constructively in the best interest of our country. Thank you.
The government has heard opposition concerns regarding Clause 208, and we are willing to support the guardrails suggested by the CPC amendment.
So there's a win for Sandra Kobina, right? And that's why it's so important to have a strong opposition, because you need people to push back against the government, right? That's their job. And it's the hardest job, because you're always going to be viewed as people who would complain and are whining, unless it's the Liberals, right? When they're the opposition, they're fighting for their country. But when the Conservatives do it, they're just grumpy and they hate Canadians and they hate Canada and they hate seniors and they hate immigrants. That's what they all say. Anybody with any level of education can succeed in life. Absolutely. Good point by Luke. ABC's behind one's name does not always mean much. True. Didn't know her name, but have seen her before and like the way she carries herself. And that's the thing. Like, she's very calm, cool, and collected. And sometimes you need people to really push back and get upset and, really be firm. But then sometimes you need more of a calm presence as well. So that's, and that's something she's very good at. You guys know who Sid Seixeiro is? He's a hockey guy, apparently. I do apologize. My allergies are going nuts today. But this guy was basically, before the game on Sunday, he was talking, "Oh, we're gonna kick your ass, USA," da 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 da, da, doing that stupid crap Canadians usually do, and then we lose, and he has a meltdown over it. It's like, Sid, you asked for it. In your opinion, who do you think will win the NDP leadership? I mean, I keep hearing Avi Lewis, but he doesn't even have a seat, so I don't know if that's going to work out. I hope it's Heather McPherson, but I didn't watch much of the NDP debate last week, but I heard she did a really bad job. So if it's Heather McPherson, you think some of the female feminist vote that almost always votes Liberal will go over to the NDP, because I find it hard to believe that feminists would vote for a rich old white man that they hate so much over a woman. But then again, to expect a liberal or a feminist to follow through with what they say and use their logic and let that determine their opinions, they usually don't. So what do you guys think? Who do you think is going to win the NDP leadership? And who do you think is going to win? And who do you want to win? And here's markcarney telling Canadians we need to make sacrifices. Today, food inflation highest in G7 at 7.3%. Not a single tariff has been removed. Not yet. GDP is negative. Bank of Canada stated it will take decades to recover. Now, MAID is offered 24 hours after requested. We have been making sacrifices, Mark, thanks to you and your buddy Justin Trudeau.
It will require us to make difficult choices. It will require sacrifices.
Today, we have rent exploding. Young people are paying more and more for smaller spaces. Almost 60% of young Canadians worry that they will not, 60% of all Canadians worry they won't be able to keep up with their rent or mortgage and might actually face the loss of their home altogether.
It will require sacrifices.
A majority of Canadians, 55%, say that they are giving up on home ownership. In fact, a recent poll by Abacus Data found that a majority of Canadians have now accepted that they will live in a smaller house, further away from their jobs, and in a lower quality.
It will require sacrifices.
My friends, maybe this is what Mark Carney was trying to do with his hypnotic speech. He was trying to lull you into accepting a worse quality of life. And this is what worries me the most about Liberals. It's not just that they've allowed crime and chaos and joblessness to rage out of control. It's not that they have broken our immigration system. They've done all those things. My worry is that they are going to try and get Canadians to accept this permanent reduction in our quality of life, so that their electoral strategy to win re-election is not one of hope, but one of deliberate hopelessness, to tell you that better is not possible after they ran an entire campaign promising that better was possible.
It will require sacrifices.
My friends, my message to you here today is that you don't have to accept a reduction in your quality of life or in the expectations of your future. You deserve better than this, and we will deliver better than this.
That's right. Canadians have sacrificed more than enough for long enough. NDP leaders had poor French. I heard that too. Yeah, here's the thing: like, the whole party is such a disgrace. The only reason I even want them to be relevant again is so that they take some votes away from the Liberals. But that's literally all they're good for. Talk of a spring or summer election has slowed down recently. Well, it's funny, right? Because the polls are showing that Mark Carney is doing very well, but they're all place. So let me show you. So Angus Reid has the Liberals up by 7. Nanos, 7. Liaison, 12. Nanos just last week won. Abacus, 7. 9, 4, 30. You know what I mean? It's I don't know what's going on with the polls, but I do know one thing. If Mark Carney believed what he was seeing in the polls, he likely would call an election very soon. However, Mark Garrettson just last week said that Canadians don't want an election right now. Plus, it's still winter. No one wants an election in winter because if, let's just say, you have an election, say, March 28th or whatever, what if there's a snowstorm? People won't go out and vote, and you'll have very low voter turnout. No one wants to risk that. Also, no one wants to risk calling or forcing an election, which could piss off a lot of Canadians. And if you're the person who forces or calls the election and you piss a bunch of people off, they're not going to vote for you. They'll either stay home or they'll switch sides. Canadian swing voters are extremely fickle. They will move to Liberals to Conservative just like that. So you have to be careful. That being said, I do think that Mark Carney wants to get a majority before things really start getting bad. Like, for example, the mortgage default rates. It's already increased by 60% in Ontario. Now, the default rates right now are very low. But if it continues to increase like that, next thing you're going to have a market crash. And all those liberal boomers who bought a house in 1980 for $100,000 and it's now worth $1.5 million are going to lose a big chunk of their net worth. Now, of course, I know there are boomers who are conservative as well, but you're voting for change. You're voting for this country to go in the proper direction. Liberals aren't. So when bad things happen to them after nonstop liberal voting, I don't feel bad. I can't. Don't know any NDP well enough to choose. Well, and that's the thing too. Like, now they've lost official party status. They don't get to speak very often in question period, and they don't have any members in committee. If I was NDP, I would have to run because of the tidbits that I did see. None are worth voting for. I agree. They're not worth voting for. We need to invite this woman to give Carnage a course in immigration policies. Yep, I agree. Yeah, Sandra, she's I think she's on X as well. Go give her a follow. And also go give Mark Nixon a follow as well. He posted the last video. He does a lot of good clips, and I do cover what he posts quite often. Can't wait for the real estate crash so I can afford to move it. Right. And that's the thing, right? For all the people who don't have homes or they feel hopeless they'll never be able to buy one, when the crash happens, there will be houses available for a couple $100,000. Or so, right? Don't quote me on the exact number, but you will see cheaper houses. Unfortunately, it's going to cost other people a lot of money for that to happen. Ideally, we would have managed our housing and our immigration and our economy much better. But don't tell that to Mark Carney, guys. He just got here. But to be fair, a lot of people will give politicians a couple years. But if Mark Carney gets a majority before next April, you'll likely see the polls start to switch in favor of the Conservatives again, but there's no upcoming election, right? Just like the last time, it's like, look, Pierre's ahead in the polls, and he's projected to win, 200, 225 seats, but Jagmeet Singh stopped an election from happening to benefit himself and get his pension. And for some reason, that's allowed. I did quite a bit of trolling the last couple days about the hockey game, just scrolling through here. Another devastating mill closure strikes a BC town. Jobs lost, workers laid off, but who's to blame? Is it all the fault to tariffs and U.S. President Donald Trump? How about the policies of the Liberals and NDP? Now, this is a 20-minute video, so I'm not going to play it, but more jobs lost. And yet the Liberals will never tell you that this is happening. They're probably upset for the mainstream media coverage on it because they don't want people to know. I've heard the market is so good here. There are price wars if you list your... Oh, really? Yeah. If you were selling... Yeah, for sure. It's interesting. Greedy politicians don't last. Well, that's why I'm hoping either the polls start to shift very soon, or we wait until next year to have an election. Because if we're going to get, like, even if Mark Carney gets a floor crossing majority, let's be honest here, it would be a fragile majority, which could change with any upcoming scheduled elections, resignations, which would likely happen when the Liberal Party starts to tank again. Yeah, it's... We'll see what happens. I mean, I prefer a floor crossing majority because it's slimy. I think it would turn a lot of people off. But if he gets a 200-seat majority after an election, then he's there for 4 years. Good for the vendor, not great for the purchaser. Yeah. Well, it's always seems to be good for the vendor lately, because if you're purchasing, you're overpaying for your house. And I know people who bought houses just before COVID or just after COVID, and if it crashes and they've taken out a lien or a loan against the house, or if they redid their mortgage, it's like in 2021, a lot of people redid their mortgages and there was a very low interest rate for 5 years. Well, it's 2026, so those 5 years are up. So that's why you're seeing the mortgage default rate increase right now. No price wars recently in my area, less listings and staying on the market longer. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not sure what the real estate market's like here in Hamilton, but I'm sure it's not too great. Carney, temporary phony worker. Yep. There's a great little town, hamlets around Grand Prairie where the prices are reasonable. Yeah. I mean, if you go far north and then you're in a small town, you could find like if you go up to Sudbury or like an hour north of Sudbury somewhere, you could probably find some cheap housing. But a lot of people don't want to live that far north because, well, the winters, we complain about winters here in, southern Ontario, but in northern Ontario, like I know a girl I went to high school moved to Thunder Bay, I think it was, or was it Sault Ste. Marie? I can't remember, but she said the winters up there are just bone chilling. Ugh, no thanks. If I'm gonna move anywhere, it's gonna be south, but I'd like to stay in Canada. Big money, right? That is true. Big money working in the oil field. Tayana, what's her Chekic? I think that's her name. The truth seeker over on X. Her and her husband moved down. They used to work in the oil fields in northern Alberta, and then they moved to Texas, and enjoying life a lot better. It looks like, because I mean, like, there's big money in working in the oil field, but very dangerous job. Takes a lot of toll on your body. But then again, if you're making good money and the benefits are really good and you save up and invest, maybe you could retire after 20, 25 years. But I don't know. Doesn't snow much in BC in the lower mainland. That's true. That is probably the best thing about West in Vancouver. Carney is an asset manager and he's managing our decline as a nation. That's right. I can't remember who it was. I should have saved it, but I saw a video earlier of someone saying that Canada is a toxic asset. What do bankers do with toxic assets? Or tech, Dan? Yep, that's true. 150K for 2-acre lots here in Kitimat. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's there are options. If you work like in the city, like if you work in Toronto, moving to Sudbury is an option for you, but you could move to places like Kitimat, Sudbury, etc. They sell them off. That's right, the Chucky Norris. They sell them off, and that's exactly what Carney is here to do. And who's he going to sell it to? China. Our college turned into a technical institution. Oh, cool. I just want a decent life for my kids, not living with parents forever. Yeah, right. There's a lot of people working very hard right now, and they can't afford anything. Now, to be fair, there's also a lot of them who are continuing to believe the Liberal Party and what they say, and therefore they're kind of getting what they vote for. So, in order for me to start feeling bad for people, they got to wake up. I can't feel bad for people who continually vote for the problems that we have and then complain about it. It's like, guys, come on. Liquidation is the simplest solution for failing it. Right. You got it. Good fishing in Kitimat, right? Jason. Is Kitimat in BC? I'm not too familiar with other smaller towns in BC or places like that. Okay. All right, I'm going to cut off the stream for tonight. It's been just over 45 minutes. I'm going to try to do like closer to an hour, but I am going to stop. I am going to have a couple videos posted later, one likely around 9:30 and then another one an hour later at 10:30. So keep a lookout for those. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow night. Take care.